everyone, my name is Sammy and I hope you're doing well. And if you're not, I don't know anymore. Can you just tell me you're doing good? I need this. Okay, well Halloween is almost upon us and you know what that means. Time for this bitch to let loose and have fun. I mean, what do you want me to say? Huh? You want me to say I'm gonna put on a drag-sized amount of makeup, put on a skimpy outfit, poof my hair up to high heavens, and go out to a bar not worrying about the mass amount of money I'm gonna be spending on alcoholic beverages because on top of it being a Halloween, it's also my boyfriend's birthday, so I'm gonna be buying for two? Well, there, I said it. Are you happy? But I also like to watch movies, who would have thought? But, more specifically, I intend to indulge myself on one of the greatest films to ever grace the silver screens. Now, you might be asking yourself, what classic could that be? And if you guess the 2003 classic entitled The Haunted Mansion, based on the seminal ride of the same name, starring the 2000s king of comedy, Eddie Murphy, you'd be correct. I know what you might be thinking. That's such a bad movie. She's got horrible taste. And to that I say, have you watched the movie recently and not had a stick up your ass the entire time? Don't look at that Rotten Tomato score, baby. They're just lying to you. It's okay. I'd like to take you all on a little journey so you can discover its full potential. And it also features the ultimate mommy icon Jennifer Tilly, which I almost forgot when I was writing this script, so I feel like that alone should grant it camp status. But you know what? I'm gonna take you on this journey anyway, so come on, let's go. Spoilies! Actually, record scratch. Before we get into it, I need to say this right now. I fucking love Disney World, so make fun of me all you want, because I am comfortable in myself and my interests that I'm okay with being an adult theme park enthusiast. Deal with it or don't, that's the Disney 411. Going into the movie, we open on what I can only describe as shocking for a Disney movie with a $90 million budget. But if you think critically and use your brain, this was done on purpose. Duh. It's to disorient the unworthy and make sure those with the visions of the prophecy yet to be foretold are the only witnesses of this mystical and hypnotizing introduction. Wasn't it obvious? I'm not gonna lie, this is a pretty rocky start to my defense of this film. But I'm gonna try to twist this and make you guys see what I see, because I am what? Good at manipulation. Okay, so these animations are, I'm not gonna lie, they're all over the place and kind of jarring. Maybe making you feel a little sicky poo. But I mean, that's kind of how the ride is at Disney World, and that's the one I'm gonna be talking about because that's the one I've been on more. It's disorienting as hell with all the staircases all over the place. If you've never been on it, you literally enter a room with like staircases on the ceiling, on the walls, everywhere, and there's mirrors everywhere, so it looks like there's it's never ending. And it's quite literally pitch black and there's a booming voice over your shoulder telling you that you're gonna die. So yeah, I'm gonna check this one off as intentional. They meant to make it jarring. And that's that. I also want to say, if you pay attention and are an absolute freak like me, you will notice that the outside of the mansion is kind of this cool combination between the Anaheim park and the Orlando park. Because in Anaheim, the Haunted Mansion is New Orleans style, and in Disney World, they have like the greenhouse and all those other aspects, so they like merged them together, which I thought was a cute idea. Also, that was fucking scary. I don't make the rules. Sorry, I saw this when I was 6. But this kid is serving his face card. He's cracking me up. Why is he just... That's it! No expression, just deadpan. I love it. There's not a thought behind those eyes. I mean, hopefully he's not traumatized for the rest of his life from this ghost with the piercing blue eyes. And the strong nose. Good cheekbones from what I could tell. Moving on. Now, I'm not quite up to speed on paperboy delivery routes, but it does seem kind of odd for this 11-year-old boy to be riding his bike through the swampy marshes to this abandoned and decrepit building with no one paying taxes, I can only assume. But I understand they were just trying to bring those real estate flyers over so the ghosties in the mansion can get a look at Eddie Murphy and his family. Or I guess just Eddie Murphy and his wife, because why would his kids be on the real estate flyers? I'm also obsessed with Sarah's cunty headshot right next to Eddie Murphy's goofy one. Eddie Murphy's goofy looking headshot looks exactly like your uncle at your 5th grade pool party right before he shoves your chlorinated water dripping face into a triple layer star-shaped cake that you begged your mom to make covered in red sprinkles, subsequently ruining all of her hard work and ruining the flavor profile of the sweet sucrose of those red rosy crystals. I'm over it. Favorite line delivery of the whole movie right here.
Hey honey, how's it going? Do they like the house?
Why did she say it like that? Do they like the house? I'm not kidding, no joke. I watched that 7 times in a row.
Okay, one quick drink. Okay, one quick one. Sir, can I have a ginger ale over here, please?
Oh no, that's not a drink. Sammy, 3 volcanoes.
Okay, let's blow on over this culturally appropriate restaurant and talk about that I have a name drop in this movie, bartender Sammy. Woo! Uh-oh, here comes a Chekhov's gun moment. I wonder if this will come in handy later on in the movie.
Dad, I can't crush it. I can't wag it. I can't do...
Hey.
There, happy?
No, I'm not happy, Megan. I was trying to make a point to your brother about how it's important to whack your own spiders.
Whatever.
I will say, that's a big fucking spider. Did you see the splat after Megan smashed it? That was huge. No, I'm with you, Michael. That's scary. I don't mess with that. And I'm not even afraid of spiders. That was just a huge spider. And you also don't understand how badly I wanted to be Megan. She was fearless and a badass. I thought she was so cool. They really just happened to get the cutest kids for these roles, I swear. And I love how they hammered home the fact that Jim, Eddie Murphy's character, is a workaholic, because that's the only way for this scenario to make sense, because that gate was padlocked when they drove up to it, and now it's suddenly open, and you're just gonna drive right through with your 2 young kids in the backseat? Get the fuck out of there. Methinks? No. And this is another point to my Jim being a terrible father and a workaholic. Why are they walking into this house? Stop at the doorway! I know it's raining, but you don't have to walk into this whole entryway. Oh my god, it was giving me anxiety. I'm gonna say this right now. They did a great job of putting in those PG scares. The lighting they had on the butler as he's walking down the hallway to show them to the dining hall is just beautiful. The subtle hints of blue on the highlights of his cheeks, and I love how there's like the fast fall off casting effect of the shadows where it looks like his eyes are hollow. And bitch, the reveal to the dining room is just beautiful. I personally think they did a great job at capturing the whimsy of the ride, but making it less cheesy. I also can't with Sarah. She's beautiful, she's gorgeous, she looks like Linda Evangelista. But a good actor, she is not. Very wooden, but she is giving face, I'll give her that.
Have you ever seen a fireplace this amazing? Incredible.
Wow, you can have one heck of a weenie roast in that thing, huh?
Seriously, look at this detail. I've never seen anything like this.
It's also just hard because in this movie she's surrounded by an all-star cast of character actors, Eddie Murphy, Wallace Shawn, Jennifer Tilly, etc. And no, I do not remember Eddie Murphy's character being this much of a dick, but I guess that's the only way for the story to really make sense. At this point, I guess I should explain a little bit. The roads are flooded, so they cannot leave the mansion, so they are shown to their rooms. Now, Jim says some out-of-pocket shit about him buying his wife expensive gifts.
Excuse me, this is a big opportunity for all of us.
Not for us, for you. The only thing you seem to care about anymore is work.
Oh, but when I'm working hard like this, it doesn't matter as long as I'm bringing you home expensive gifts, right? Hey, what do you... Hey.
And Sarah rightfully throws that expensive watch that he just gave her for missing their anniversary at him. No, I want to live here. This mansion is beautiful. I don't even mind the cobwebs. I think they add to the ambiance. He is giving me serious anxiety. Why is he touching everything and being so loud? This isn't your house. I will say, this is the one part of the movie that did not need to be in it. It just went on for too long. I love a good hidden staircase, hidden passage, whatever. I'm all for that. Clue is one of my favorite movies, but I didn't need the opening of the bust 1,000,001 times. I got the point. It's a hidden passageway. It's a gag for the kids, I guess. I also want to say I love the relationship building between the 2 siblings. I feel like it is very realistic because this is very much the dynamic of me and my brother when we were younger. We were both very curious, but Tyler, my brother, was the brave one, so he kind of led the charge with a lot of our explorations. Now this fucking library. I have no words. It is so beautiful. It took my breath away. The staircase leading, oh my god, it was just beautiful. Also, this ghost is handsome as sin. Master Gracie is so suave and debonair. Little middle part in his accent. I really do enjoy the way that they are taking us through the mansion by splitting the family up, because if you've never been, the ride is kind of long, and there's like 10 different rooms that you have to go through with 1,000,001 different backstories in that specific room, so you can't really cover all of that in an hour and 20-minute movie. But I think them splitting the family up was like a clever way of showing off the house instead of it just being like a checklist, like following the ride. Like, oh, it's the dining room scene. Oh, it's the graveyard scene. That's not how the movie is, which I fully appreciate. I love the sound design too, because as the kids are following this little magical ghost ball, that's what they call it, you hear a subtle heartbeat when Michael is getting onto that old ass elevator. I'm with you, Michael. Elevators creep me the fuck out. There's nothing below you and you're being held up by cords. No, I'll take the stairs. Now there is another reason why we do hear a heartbeat, but I'll get into that later. And I'm sorry, I'm a sucker for a novelty gag. That's why I love this ride so much. So this scene where Jim is walking down the hallway and the portraits are flashing and changing and the busts are watching him and the wallpaper is like the kitschy, my ears, and the breathing door, it's just fun. Don't you like to have fun? Just let loose and admit it's a good, fun movie. I also love a good door edit when someone is opening a door to one room, but then you cut to a different person opening a different door to a different room. I love it. I think it's just so funny. It's so clever. I love when movies throw that in there. You're like, ooh, a little surprise.
Hello?
I'm not gonna lie, this did get a little chortle out of me. I don't know if that was the intent, but boy oh boy did it tickle me. Why did he call him to hang up right away? What was the point of that? I understand he's trying to scare him, but he's already stated that he doesn't believe in ghosts, so this little prank call kind of seems like a poorly thought out plan in my eyes. But what do I know? I'm not a decrepit, frail, evil old ghost with malicious intentions. Oh, spoilies, sorry. He's evil. Couldn't you tell? I also love that they brought this cute little crow into the movie because nerdy theme park fact alert. In the Haunted Mansion ride in Disney, they were going to have a crow follow you through the ride and be your narrator. But they decided to scrap that idea and just have your narrator kind of be this ghost host. But they still had crows placed throughout the ride as a fun little cameo. So I love these little babies making their appearance. Get that residual, baby. That wedding dress, cunty. And here is another way that the movie was going for scary, but a PG scary. Because the kids are not in imminent danger. They have these two ghosts, the maid and I think the footman is what he is. Clearly they have these children's best intentions at heart and they're not gonna do any harm to them. So you know the kids will most likely make it out without a scratch. Mommy alert! Mommy alert! Alert the guards! Jennifer Tilly is here! And God, yes! Look at her with that curly wig, that red lip, those curved out cheekbones. I am pissed that she's just ahead. Although, I do think if I saw a full-body Jennifer Tilly in this movie, I would pass out. Also, good writing alert!
Dad!
Hey, they had me floating all around the room.
Dad!
Hey, I was strapped to a chair, floating around the room with a marching band chasing me. I'm not going back anywhere. Forget it, Casper.
But Mom's in trouble!
What kind of trouble?
Love that Jim is ready to get the fuck out of this mansion after his crazy time in the seance room. But as soon as he hears that his wife is in trouble, he kind of snaps back into high gear. That's not the right word. He snaps back into motion because, I mean, one, that's his wife, and two, the last conversation he had with his wife was an argument. So yeah, he's not feeling the greatest right now. He wants to get his wife and make sure she's okay. Also, remember when I mentioned that heartbeat earlier? Well, it wasn't actually Michael's heartbeat.
If you listen carefully, you can still hear the beating of his broken heart.
It was the ghost balls. Ghost orbs. Because their heart aches so much after their lover took their own life. Sad. It is sad. I'm not like making fun of that situation. It's a very sad situation. But it's just a ghost orb has a heartbeat. I just think that's kind of silly. This next shot is perplexing, to say the least. Skeleton horse and buggy burst out the side of a bricked up mansion. Couple questions. One, where did you store the horse and buggy inside? Two, why did you store the horse and buggy inside? Three, what level were you on? It didn't look like the ground floor. And four, how did that skeleton horse not break into a million pieces bursting through a brick wall? I don't know much, but I do know this. Skeletons can't break through brick walls. I don't know, maybe they can. I guess I really don't know anything about skeletons. I didn't take anatomy or biology or any science class in college. I was a Bachelor of Arts, give me a break. I love the thought put into the design of the ghosts. Like, they can materialize inside of the mansion, but if they're outside of the mansion, they're kind of semi-transparent. I think that's a cute little touch. I also just love the designs of the ghosts. I think they all have their cute little personalities, but we don't even hear half of them speak. You just see them and you're like, oh yeah, I know who that is.
Dad,
Yes.
I see dead people.
Also, classic PG scary movie trope is where they reference a rated R horror movie by saying a popular phrase from that movie, where Michael says, I see dead people. Of course Michael would say that. you know, from The Sixth Sense. I'm also a sucker for a quartet, but who isn't, am I right? Also, yeah, Megan, you better waltz off and leave these goofs alone. She is my self-sufficient queen and she knows what she wants and how to get it. There's that crow again. But yes, I love how my baby girl Megan is the first to walk up to this mausoleum.
Look. It's a warning.
How do you know that?
I studied Latin for 3 years, Dad.
She is brave and she has not taken no prisoners. And she's also 13 and can speak and read Latin. She's gonna be the future president of the United States.
Okay, I'll be right back.
20 minutes tops, right?
20 minutes tops.
And I'm sorry, did he just leave his kids up there for 20 minutes with a cemetery full of 999 ghosts? Nuh-uh. Sir, are you kidding me? He has no idea what they're capable of. And the two nice ghosts just kind of vanished. I mean, he has no idea what could be down in the mausoleum. Could be worse than ghosties. Foreshadowing? But still, I feel like it is an odd choice. I've also never been in a mausoleum, but this seems fucking huge. And of course, Megan comes down to help. We've already established that Eddie Murphy's character is not the brightest bulb in the batch. She's in her helping flops era. Good for her. And you know what I'm gonna say? I wanna live in this mausoleum. It's fucking cool as hell. Look at the intricate details of the metalwork and the amazing architecture. Just stunning. Now, this scene right here, this is it. The first time I watched this movie, as I've said before, I was probably around 6, and I remember being in my parents' family room watching it with my brother, and he'd seen it before, so he knew what was coming, and I had not, so I didn't. But at this very moment, Tyler, my brother, told me to cover my eyes and to not uncover them until he told me that I was in the clear. Because if you don't know this is 100% the scariest part of the movie. They are legit zombies coming to attack and eat Eddie Murphy and Megan. It's scary as hell. And the door is slammed shut on them too, so there's no escape. They're literally trapped down there with these zombies. Also, hate this, glad you're safe and sound, Jim, but you just knocked that zombie body into the water that has your 13-year-old daughter in it looking for a key. Cool. I should specify the reason Megan went into the water looking for this key is because in the seance room, Jennifer Tilly's character told Eddie Murphy's character to find a key in the mausoleum. And as soon as Eddie Murphy saw this zombie coming to life, of course he got scared and dropped the key into the water. So Megan, being the queen that she is, had to jump in and find it. Here's that Chekhov's gun moment that I mentioned earlier. Like I said, the mausoleum door slammed shut, leaving Jim and Megan down there with all the zombies. Literally all Michael has to do is unlock the latch and let them out, and we saw it was really easy to do that. But of course Michael has arachnophobia, and at this very moment, thousands of tarantulas come and cover the door, and Michael is obviously frozen in fear, but he does have time to get this one little zinger out.
Michael, open the door! Open the door! Michael!
Dad, there's spiders everywhere and I don't have a magazine!
Even in dire moments, he's got a good sense of humor. He's got a good life ahead of him.
Michael, are you scared?
Uh-huh!
And Michael, look, it's okay to be scared, alright? Everybody gets scared sometimes. Now you're scared right now!
You are?
This is also just a really cute moment because they are seconds away from being torn apart. But this is the switch where Jim actually sees the error of his ways, where he was kind of a neglectful father, and now he sees what's important in life. Aww. But I just thought it was really cute that Michael hearing his dad say it was okay to be scared, but you just can't let that stop you, was enough for him to face his fears and open that latch while getting he literally gets covered in these tarantulas. I feel so bad for this little boy. This movie and its sly transitions, I am here for it. And I just love Jennifer Tilly's voice.
Forever yours, Elizabeth.
She didn't kill herself.
She wanted to be with him.
And somebody gave him the wrong letter.
Yes, well done, Mr. Evers. I must say I'm impressed. You are more persistent than I would have ever imagined.
The butler did it? You gotta be kidding me.
Plot twist! Did anyone see that coming? I bet a couple of you who don't think critically didn't. The one thing I will say about this, I love a good plot twist. If there are good clues and foreshadowing leading up to it, and it's not just a complete curveball, but why did she write a letter saying she'd marry him instead of just telling him? It looked like they lived together. All of her stuff is still there, the wedding dress. So why didn't she just walk down that little hallway and just accept his proposal? I don't know, I just don't hear that many marriage acceptances written down in a letter, but this was a long time ago, and I wasn't alive a long time ago, so I don't know, maybe people were weird back then. So for those of you confused, maybe try listening better. Another cute little moment is earlier in the movie when Jim yells at one of his kids for slamming the car door shut, only for Jim to be thrown out of the mansion on top of the car and make the alarm blare. Just thought that was another moment of cute writing. I'm also just sitting here, only left to assume that Sarah was walking around this entire mansion with Master Gracie for, oh, I don't know, a good 3 hours? Why was she so okay with this man trauma dumping on her for that long? What's that all about? She's too nice. That's probably what it is. And that's why she hasn't left Jim yet, because he's a terrible husband. She's just too nice. Sarah, let him go. Also, babes, where the hell did you come from? If you were also thrown out of that window, you'd be shattered into a million tiny pieces. Whatever. I don't care. The more scenes I get with her, the happier I am. Also, where does this ghost butler keep getting his poison from? Who's his supplier? This is one of the parts in the movie that actually gets me mad. When this guy pulls a sword on Jim, he doesn't have the foresight to be like, oh, I have proof in a letter written by your lover. He still is trying to verbally explain himself. Babes, you have proof. Take that letter out. Show him. Also, is this ghost racist?
Your union was unacceptable. I tried to warn you, but you wouldn't listen.
So you killed her?
I told you it would be a mistake to run away with that girl.
But I loved her. Was love my mistake?
Yes!
Is that why he didn't want Gracie to be with Elizabeth? I mean, truthfully, that seems like what they're implying, so I guess that is what they're going for. And in this scene, we see Sarah slowly dying in her husband's arms as her children watch as the poison slowly makes its way into her bloodstream. So sad. Best scene of the whole movie, this racist-ass ghost gets dragged down to hell. Also, blue ball ghost orb thing was Elizabeth the who'd time. Who'da thunk? And she's just casually possessing this corpse of this woman in front of her young children and traumatized husband. Cool. Great plot device for a kid's film. Just kidding, guys. Sarah's alive. I tricked ya. The miracle of the truth being set free, I suppose, will also bring you back to life. Last thing I want to say about the movie is I think it is very clever and very cute that Sarah is driving the car at the end of the movie, because it shows that she is never letting anyone take the reins in her life ever again. So all in all, if you still don't like this movie, I don't know, I probably don't like you then. Just kidding. Everyone has their own tastes and can like whatever they want. Except this. You have to like this. Sorry. Kisses!